don't know. I think I might do some reading. Reading is fundamental, for sure. I love to read. Good book here. Sarah knew Abraham better than anybody. She knew what made him tick, and she knew that addressing him as Lord would turn things in his favor. Ooh. Yeah. Let's start with that book. I think we're going to read that one. What's a good song for Sarah? Ooh, I know one. I love you as I never loved before. Since first I met you on the meadow green. Come to me, all my dreams of love, 'tis all. I love you as I love you when you are sweet, when you are sweet. SelfWorth General Show. I'm here. There's the midday connection. Baby. How y'all with? I just thought I'd serenade you real quick because this is going to be another one of them shows here. Socorro Twin, it's so good to see you. You don't come around much, but you here now? Nah, I cut my hair just because of it. Hey, I want to talk about why women settle. I was reading in this book called The 4 Women That Men Desire. This chapter that I wrote. It's a great chapter here. It's called The Renewed Mind, and I talked about a woman that I created. She's always been here. She's always been created, but I gave her a name. Her name is C7, because 7 is my favorite number. 7 is the perfect number. It's the number of completion, and I put C there because C in my book is the main squeeze. C being, her name is Phoebe. And Phoebe, she's Phoebe is just a sweet girl. Just a sweet girl. Oh, but the C7 girl is perfect. Y'all like, ain't no perfect women out there. Okay, that's what you say. But I tell you, I was reading page 98 for those of you who got the book. If you ain't got the book, what's wrong with you? You all right? Something's wrong with you? I was reading page 98 where the topic says Sarah, girl C. Ooh, she says Sarah knew Abraham better than anybody, and she knew what made him tick, and she knew that addressing him as Lord would turn things in her favor every time. Reciprocity would then follow. Yeah, he'd pay her back. The big payback. 1 Peter 3:7 says, treat your wife with understanding as you live together. She may be weaker than you are, but she is your equal partner in God's gift of new life. Did you hear that? I did write it, but I didn't write it in 1 Peter. Peter. He said, I'll read it again. She may be weaker than you are, but she is your equal partner. The Bible said that. The Bible said that. In what? In God's gift of new life, not old life. So y'all are treating your wives like the old life. You're treating her in an unequal way. That's the old life. That's the old you. That is the pre-transformation of you. But the new life is to treat her as an equal partner in the Lord. That's why God himself said, check me out, because there's no male or female where? In the Lord. You got to finish it, because if you just say there's no male or female, then we got a problem. Yeah, we got a problem. In the Lord, you see? So when two people come together, they come together in the Lord, together in new life. Together, God doesn't look at a woman and say, I'm not going to give her the blessings of Abraham because she's a woman. So men say, submit to me, obey me. I am the king of the castle. I am the priest of the home. You might be the priest of the home, but in God, there is an equalness in new life. Then I said, in the profile of girl C in this book, I briefly mentioned how my wife cunningly got my attention by asking me to speak to Minister Jones as Minister or Elder Jones in some circles. People in religious organizations perceive me to be an important man. So when I walk in rooms, people say, that's Elder Jones, that's Minister Jones, that's Sirwalterj Jones, that's well, my brother, he may call me Wally, or my mom and dad say that's Ward, okay? But no one else can call me that, all right? So especially when I put on my vestments, what's that? My collar, my rope, and the ring, and the Class A and Class C, and all that stuff. I almost said another word, all right? So we lived in a predominant Hispanic neighborhood called Humble Park in Chicago, and whenever they saw me with my collar on, they referred to me as Father. Father. Good to see it, Tennille. Good to see it. Whole bunch of y'all. They called me Father. My wife noticed that I walked and talked different when in full regalia, and I transformed into this great servant of the people. Father. Okay? And she knew that if she addressed me as others did, that I would tend to her needs at home. For my wife found a way to tap into my identity. So what's the moral of the story? I say here, girl C's know how to use their humility to get to the heart of their men. They know. That's why Sarah called him the way he called. She called him. All right, Karen, good to see you. All right. So my wife at the time called me in the room because she needed to talk to me, not as Walter, her husband, but as Elder Jones, the people's man. And she says, tonight when I come home, put on your regalia, your vestments, because I want to talk to him, because we're having problems in our relationship, and I want to talk to the man when other women call, have problems, he give them great advice. But when I want advice, he don't talk to me, so I want him to put on his clothes. You understand? And I thought that was the most clever thing a woman had ever done to me, because that night I put on my full regalia. Yes, I did. I put on all my clothes you might see me wear on the first Sunday. I'm not pointing at you, I'm not being rude. I'm just trying to fix this horrible lighting in here. Just bad, just bad. Some days it's great, and some days it's just bad. Okay, we just have to deal with it. All right. So I put on my full regalia. So when she came home, there I was, Elder Jones. And she said, I want to talk to Elder Jones. Is he here? I said, don't you see my outfit? Yeah. What's up, Natasha? All right. And she asked Elder Jones a few questions about her husband, and I had to tell her the truth, even though it hurt me. Today I want to talk about the reasons why women settle in relationships. Someone sent me a wonderful video of Noel Jones. Oh, it wasn't someone. It was BW. Bernice Williams sent me that wonderful video of him preaching about who you should attract. And let me see if I can find it, because I thought it was quite good, believe it or not. And, I've kind of changed my attitude towards people who hoop a lot. Okay? I like hooping. I come up under it, what have you. But some people just, that's all they know how to do is hoop, and they give you no 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 substance. All right. So this was pretty good. Let me see if I can tune it up here. Turn it up here. It was good.
Myself, I'm a gift to myself because God has brought me out of being used and abused into being able to stand on my own 2 feet. And I don't need your car or your house because God took care of mine anyway. I feel a little churchy. Touch your neighbor, say, neighbor, if somebody comes in my life, they got to come for me because I don't want anything they have because God already supplied all of my needs. I feel the power of God. Can I preach for a minute? Then I'm cutting it loose. You've got to understand this, that when people come in your life, they need to come into your life not because of where you are, but of where you are going. So you don't have a lot of folk coming to take, because when they see where you are, all they want to do is take. But when they come and see where God's going to take you, instead of tearing you down, they edify you. Shake somebody's hand like you're going to shake it off and tell them, I am a builder. And if I get in somebody's life, I'm going to make them better than they've ever been before. And the only...
Okay, so what he's saying could be quite controversial, but I get it. I don't want to be attracted. I'm having all kind of problems here, y'all. CashApp is Sirwalterj. My stuff is breaking on me. All right, I get everything I got in here is just breaking. I don't want to be with somebody, first of all, who don't have anything. True, I don't. But I don't want to be with someone because they have something that I'm trying to take. I like to put what the assets I have in enhance what they have. Okay, can I use this analogy? This is a bad analogy for those of you who are deep. Matter of fact, I tell you what I could do. I could show you a picture of what I mean. All right? You deep people, I need you to leave the room right quick. Okay, because I'm getting ready to show you. I'm getting ready to show you a picture of what I mean. This just came to me. I believe the Holy Spirit dropped it in my something. All right, y'all ready? Let me blow it up. Let me. It's not funny, but this is the best example I can give. I'm trying to find a good picture. All right, this is marriage, and I think this is brilliant. All right, you ready? Here you go. Where did it go? Where did it go? There it is. You see that? Okay. Okay, that right there. Now look at this. You see? It's two. It's two. 1, 2. Okay? That is the best analogy that I can find on what you need. I'm trying to do this in a straight face. Okay? Why is it important that I'm preaching on KY? Well, KY. Because there is a chemistry. For those of you who are married, you ain't got to be married but to know what that is. But, Karen said, I'm done with you. But there's a chemistry. There's a chemistry on both bottles. You see, one is a his and one is a hers. And the his works okay by itself. The hers, it's okay. It's just sloppy. Okay, it's just sloppy. But there's a chemistry in both of them that when you put them both together, oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, how I love Jesus. Oh, yeah, that's what's happening here. There's a chemistry that happens in it, and so this gel was made in the lab, just like that. What's that mouthwash, mouth gel called Smart something? What's it called? Smart. I think it's called Smart mouthwash or something. Yeah. This right here. This right here is another great product here. It's a great product. Okay. This one right here. Y'all see that? That right there. That's a great product. Okay. Because it has one side here and one side there. Okay. All right. So for those of you who have halitosis, okay, I had a really bad tooth that was rotting in the back, and it just, no matter how much I binocular blast and what have you, it just wasn't working until I got that tooth out of there. And then I discovered that stuff there while I had the tooth. I said, you know what, there's nothing I can do, because that thing, I got to pull that tooth. Until then, I got to do something with this breath. Boy, I'm dropping all kind of transparency. So I discovered this smart mouth, yeah. And it's 2 bottles in one. It's 2 bottles in one. It's 1 bottle, but it's 2 bottles in there. One has an ingredient in it that don't work by itself. It's got to be mixed with the other side of the bottle. So there's a cap on top. So when you pour it, it's 2 spouts, and they pour into that thing, that cap together, and for 24 hours, I promise you, for 24 hours, you don't smell nothing. I don't care if you got 6 rotten teeth or teethuses, you won't smell nothing. I thought it was an amazing product. Okay, all right. So for those of you who may be struggling with that thing going on down there, get you some of that. All right, it's good stuff. Listen, that needs to be given out at the altar. I know, because some of you altar workers need to go back and do your first works of binocular blast. But use this stuff here, because again, I still use it if I know I'm going to be going all day. Number 2, if I know I'm not going to eat, I'm on Sunday morning, I wash with that, because I know I'm not going to eat until 6, 7 o'clock that night, because, you know, we church folks. So I put that in my mouth, and I'm going to be talking to people at church. I don't want to be talking like that. How you doing, brother Sanford? You okay? Some people talking, when they talk airy. They talk airy. So they talk like this. How you doing? You all right? Good. Did the Lord bless us today? Huh? Did he bless us? And all you sitting there like, he showed his blessings, and you're trying to pull away, but you don't know how to tell the brother or the sister that the anointing left the room. You don't know how to tell the brother and sister that Ichabod has entered your mouth. You don't know how to tell them. So I don't want to be told, somebody on the phone talking about me Sunday night by Brother Jones played that piano, but his breath showed this. I don't want. So Sunday morning, they ain't gonna be talking about me today. No, sorry. Yeah, cause we can tell when y'all are hungry. We can tell. Hey, you didn't eat today, did you? How you know? You heard my stomach growling? My stomach was that loud? No, baby. When you said hello, you had me at hello. All right, here's an article that says 6 reasons why women settle in relationships. It hurts me that I even have to write a blog like this. This is Justin. I can't say his name. This is a long name. Okay, let me go down to the first one. 6 reasons why women settle in relationships. Number 1, you don't believe you can do better. Ella said, Vernon, hallelujah fog. Tommy Haygood, good to see you. You don't believe you can do better. You don't even believe it. You have been with your partner for a while, and the relationship is comfortable. He's nice. He loves you. He treats you well, but deep down, you know he is not God's best for you. So you settle. Why? Complacency. We get used to we're habitual. We're creatures of habit. And so when we're with someone, we're with them. And a lot of times we don't know how to tell them, it's time to quit. especially if they're giving you some of the wonderful amenities of life when you're dating. And I'm not even talking about sex. I'm talking about a whole lot of other stuff. There, a feeling of love, going out to eat and movies and scratch my back and all, and the great conversations and all that stuff. You don't want to start all over again. You understand what I'm saying? So you're complacent. Chitlin fog breath. Right. So you don't believe you can do better. Number 2, you don't trust God to bring someone else around. You like, God chose this person, so this got to be the one. Yes, he's cheating all over and over and over and over again, but God, he got to be the one. He got to be the one because God told me he the one. Yes, he's having a problem. Yes, he's got a record. He got a rap sheet. Yeah, he don't like his mama or his daddy. Yeah, he haven't seen his children in 6 years. Yeah, but God brought him my way. Women, I'm gonna need y'all to be a little less holy. Now, and I ain't talking about the holy that's in the scriptures. I mean, your holy. Like Donald Trump's administration, they said, here's the facts and here's the alternative facts. Yeah, so y'all giving us the alternative holiness. Thank you. Get married and the balloons pops. All right. So this one ties in perfectly with number 1. We have the tendency to think we need to get God to help God out. Abraham tried to help God out because he was up in age, and Sarah was laughing and all that stuff. So Sarah said, hey, let's help God out. My handmaiden, let's go over there and lay with her and give us a child. And then that must be what God meant, because ain't no baby popping out of here. So Abraham didn't ask no questions. He said, all right, I'll do that. When? Tonight? Wait, baby, wait. Sarah was like, wait, dang, she out of town. She at the coach convention. You can't wait. No, I can get on the plane tonight, and I can go there and find her, and we can go to... Wait, dang, Abraham, you must really want that girl. No, I don't want her. Yeah, you do. You're trying to fly to Memphis. Well, what holy convocations? You trying to fly to St. Louis to see my handmaid. So we start to compromise in our relationship in order to make it work, even though we can clearly tell it ain't even working. So you don't trust God to bring someone else around. This must be the one, because he's been in my life for 6 years. And I worked hard on him. And so that's what's happening, women. A lot of times you work hard on something, so you feel that you have to stay in there. Sherry said, wait, he got a record? No, I'm good. All right? So you stay in there because you worked hard on it. You look at the fruit of your labor and says, I worked too hard to get this, and then to keep this. So it doesn't matter what he's doing. I'm going to take him back. Number 3, you are stressed out by time. Click, 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 click. What's happening? This is your body. And the scripture said, you passed your flower of time. I got to hurry up. I got to get this baby going. Okay? I got to hurry up. I'm getting old. I got to hurry up. Time is ticking. On and on, all right? So one of my favorite new quotes is, don't timeline yourself out of a blessing. It speaks to women's obsession with their biological clock and their habit to timeline their adult life. Married by 25, kids by 28, and a white picket fence in the house by 30 years old. And you're doing all that at the risk of him abusing you mentally, physically, spiritually, morally, and you name it, physically. Oh, I said that. All the E's, okay? All that because you want to follow your plan. And your plan, the only problem is when we make these plans at the age 15, we don't take into account that life will try you at times and throw a couple of obstacles at you. So, and before you know it, if you're 30, lived in 7 different countries, traveled to over 23, and are living your dream life in Atlanta, the broke version, he's saying. Understand that even if the time passes and your life turned out differently than what you imagined, you still receive the blessings. They just look different, he's saying. Number 3, you're missing self-esteem. The definition of self-worth, according to the Oxford Dictionary, is confidence in one's own worth or ability or self-respect. The video I just played by the preacher of LA, okay, he said something. He says that the people they come into your life because not from where you are. They come into your life because where they see you going. You understand? I'm always going somewhere. Meaning, I'm not walking or driving, and I'm not saying that, but they see that I'm going. See, women are visionaries, right? Because men have written the narrative of all of our lives, and their mothers told them they need a husband, feel complete. Johanna, you actually right. You ain't too far from the wrong, all right, from the truth. You actually right. You're right. So, you, ladies, you envision, you can see in men what men don't see in themselves. All right. That's why God gave Adam Eve, because she was a help meet. And I don't want no helper who can't see that I need this right now. I'm working on a project, and she know how I work. My father taught us this as a carpenter. He would bring us to his job site, and he would be painting, or he would putting up drywall and what have you, and then he would point to an instrument, a tool. Give me that tool. Now give me that belt. Give me that hammer. Give me blah blah blah. All right, he would do that. Then after a while, he would be doing his wall thing, whatever he's doing, and he'll stop, and he'll look at us. We were like, what? He said, you see that I'm stuck. I'm like, so what do you want me to do? What's next? You need the ruler. That's it. I need the ruler. Okay? And he does his little ruler thing, and then he says, I'm waiting. And I'm thinking, okay, now what's next? Why? He took me on the job. He showed me how to put up drywall. And how to plaster walls, and how to put up wallpaper, okay? How to put in ceramic floors, and how to, all these things, okay? And put up pictures. He showed us that. So after a while, he started saying, okay, you should now be able to finish. If I got sick and fell on the floor, you should be able to finish this job because I've taken you on the job. You see what comes next, all right? And I took that as a lesson throughout life. You should know what comes next. So Eve knew what comes next in Adam's life. All right? Have you ever met couples where a man is talking and then she finishes his sentence? He's talking and then blah, 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 blah. Twins do that a lot. One twin will say something and the other twin will either talk at the same time, say the same words with the same infraction, with the same tonality. All right, and I've seen married couples do that too. One is talking and the other start talking at the same time, same infraction, same everything. They laugh at the same time. Why? Because they're not two people anymore, they're one. And so you should be with someone who you can tell that they're going somewhere. You've studied their lives long enough to know that they're on their way somewhere, and my job in their lives now is to take them there, help them get there. You understand? And that's why there's something missing in a lot of women today in the envisionary part of their brain. I think women think on the left side and men on the right side or something like that. That whole hippocampus situation. All right. So there was something that has been taken away from women. First of all, your natural affection for the man has been taken away for a lot of you. All right. And number two, your natural ability to help men and to nurture him, and to, a lot of times, like yesterday I talked about women's intuition, how intuition seems like it's only used to catch a man in transgression. Intuition. It seems like every time it pops up in a woman, she caught him doing something wrong. But rarely do you hear in pop culture, on Facebook, YouTube, what have you, where a woman is using her intuition to build a man up. Instead, they use their intuition to shame a man, all right? They shame him with something that he did, something that he said, maybe his weight, fluctuating, what have you, his inability to say certain words, his inability to be able to spell, all right? She's always spell checking him and all kinds. So she's constantly, slowly pecking at him. She got a hammer and chisel and pecking and chiseling, and she's tearing him down. You can take a hammer and chisel and build a man up. A hammer and chisel is used to build a man up, or you can destroy. All right, and that's why a person who handles jewels or precious jewels, gold and silver, what have you. If you ever go to a jeweler, you see they got that eye, that all-seeing eye, right? They put on there, and they got the same hammer and chisel, what have you, and they're chiseling away the compost, the dirt. All right, and all of the buildup around this gold, all right, they chisel it away because what they're doing is actually, when they get through, that diamond is going to be worth more than when it first hit his table. And so women should be master chisel workers, all right, where they're chiseling out his life, they're chiseling out this picture, perfect, that people can see. She sees the dust and the dirt. And that dust and the dirt should be chiseled out at home, in privacy, not on social media. So she's on social media chiseling out all of the dirt and what have you in front of people, and they should never see that. My father always told us that he says, you notice I never embarrass my wife. I never embarrass your mama in public. And he's never done it, ever. He's never embarrassed my mom. Whenever he talks about my mom, it's always beautiful. It's always loving, caring. It's always, I adore her and all these things. And at home, they may disagree. But even in front of us, they don't disagree. And I wrote that in my introduction in my book. People always read the book and they go to the introduction and they see what I say about my parents. And sometimes people cry. They say, oh my God, your parents are amazing. Because they didn't let my father didn't let us see how my mom was chiseling. So they went in the room, in the bedroom, and then they chiseled away. In front of us, they were always holding hands. She would sit on his lap. And they would hug and embrace and kiss all the time. That's all we saw. So in public, my father said, never embarrass your wife in public. Don't ever do that. Ever. Don't ever do that. All right? You chisel away at home when you go in public, then they see this beautiful chemistry of diamond that people can see. The right side of the brain is feminine, okay, or that which is creative, delicate, intuitive, and nurturing. Thank you, Amber Rogers. It's the right side of the brain for the women. All right, so you got to remember this stuff, and this has been either taken away from you, ladies, or you have never been taught this. You come up in a home where there probably was no father. You didn't have a father figure, and then your mom did all she could, but she cannot be the father, and that's why sometimes I get so tired of Father's Day, because these women talking about I'm the father and the mother. You are a freak of nature if you try to be the father and the mother. God made Adam and Eve, and it made Adam. Y'all hear that all the time, Adam and Steve. All right, that's dealing with homosexuality, but y'all still making Steve. Well, anyway, so it needs to be retaught in our schools. Back in the day, we used to have home economics in the school, all right, where the women were taught how to clean and cook and take care of the house. Today's woman, the feminist movement had that stuff removed because it's below a woman to cook and clean and what have you. But what they fail to see, those of you who are so overly feminine, is that the men still desire the cook and the cleaner. They still need that because in him, God made him to need these things. He still needed. So you're taking away the Eve out of his life. You understand what I'm saying? You're taking away from him. You're robbing him and stealing from him the Eve that God has given him. So when he meets you, you're so career oriented. He likes that. He's attracted to that. But at home, you're no good. That's all you're talking about is business and what he can do for you. And you got this queen mentality, queen. And the queen, all she wants is to be served. That's all she wants is to be worshipped. That's what the queen does. All right. So what he wants his wife. He wants Eve at home. He wants Sarah at home. When is she going to pop up? Yeah, he can call you queen all you want to. That's fine. But at home, I want this woman that God gave Adam. God gave Abraham. Where is she? I want her. Where is that Proverbs 31 woman? Where is Boaz's woman? Where is she? The one who talked to my love language, which may be words of affirmation. All right? What happened to those? Men still want that. They want it. Talk to me. Okay? So that has been taken away from the man. All right? And so the women today, unfortunately, don't know how to balance home and career. They don't. So what they do, career comes first and foremost. So when they go home, they're like, I ain't got to do nothing. We make enough money. All right, we can hire a maid. We can hire somebody to clean up the house. We can hire blah, blah, we can hire all this. And then what's happening? He may not be saying something now, but his heart is saying, I want somebody like my mom. My mom knew how to do everything. If a button broke on my shirt, my mom knew how to sew that. I ain't your mama. Go home to your mama. He like, oh, ow. You don't even realize that you're hurting the man. It's a way to correct him. He like, ow, 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 ow. He's hurting inside. And then what happens? He began to take it out on you. How? A few ways. He'll either say it with his mouth, or he won't say nothing or do anything. And that is his way of acting out. There's a little boy in All Men. It's in the book. So he retreat to the man cave. He may not hit you. All men are not abusive, so he's not going to hit you. But he retreats. And that is his way of saying, that's his way of saying, I'm hurting. Lastly, he goes out there and get a woman who's like his mom. And then you lost him. Yes. Why are you always trying to get us assassinated? No, triplet, I'm trying. I'm not trying. Hey, Marty's here, y'all. Sherry says, my granddad was my example of how to love a woman. He loved my Grammy. Yes. Why, when they have the woman that cook and clean as well as holding down a full-time career, they still won't do right. Well, Marty, that show ain't this show. That's tomorrow's show. That's tomorrow's show. My granddad was my example of love. He openly loved my Grammy and wasn't afraid to show it. You see? Notice how some people, when they talk about love in the house, they skip their parents. They go to their auntie and uncle or their grandparents. And so what happens? So if that God allows these things to happen, but he at least show you someone who you can cater your life after. Some people will say, my pastor and wife shows us that love that I didn't get at home. You understand what I'm saying? I was privileged to get that at home with my mom and dad. You understand? And I tried to do the same thing when I got married. The marriage didn't work, but she can never say I did not try to give her what I saw my parents do. Yeah, Marty said, okay, I'll tune in tomorrow. Then I'm gonna do the show tomorrow and forget all about it, Marty. Forget all about it. All right. So this right here, there are some. I'm gonna say this to you, Marty. There are some men who are the exception to the rule. No matter how much you follow the book, no matter how much you follow instructions, there's still some that are wayward. You understand? God gave instructions to the children of Israel, and some of them, many of them, still were wayward. They were stiff-necked folks, God called them. Okay? They just were stiff-necked. All of them wasn't, but many of them were. So in this society, no matter what you do, women, you said, I'm doing all these things, and this Negro still, well, he's a rotten egg. And you get a basket full of apples, and after a while, you know, you keep eating an apple, eat different apples each day, one of them they just got worms in them. They rotten. You got to throw that one out before it spoils the whole bunch. All right, so you're going to get 1 out of 10 that's bad and rotten, and there's nothing you could do. God have to change it. You understand what I'm saying? I just did tomorrow's show. So that means I don't have to do tomorrow's show? All right, so missing self-esteem is number 3. Self-esteem is a new age term. That's something that you probably didn't know. It's a new age term. All right, it wasn't always the case. So that's why they said self-worth. All right, rotten is a good description. Marty said rotten is a good description. Number 4, you don't believe your God-given identity. You don't even believe in yourself. This is why you settle. Did you know that everything that you are was well intended by God? She says, when you were in your mother's womb, you knew exactly what he wanted you to look like. He knew. Talk like, and behave like. He knew that because you have been fearfully and wonderfully made. Psalms 139. Okay, and you can be proud of yourself. You're good enough and do not need to seek a man's approval of who you are. Yesterday I talked about being whole. You complete me. You make me whole. No, I want you to be complete before you get here. Fix all of the issues that you have as much as you can. Then whatever issues that's left, we can come together and then I can help you deal with this issue as you help me deal with mine. But you should know how messed up you are, and if you don't, then there needs to be some self-evaluation, and sometimes you need counseling to help get you evaluated, because some of you think that you're okay until you get into a relationship and realize, crap, this is my third one and I screwed it up again. All right, and sometimes what we do is we blame other people for the mess we make. So we get together with someone and we have been married 4 and 5 times, and then we're like, man, he did this and he did that. So what did your second husband do? Well, he did that. What about your third husband? Well, he was no good. What about your fourth husband? Well. And it makes the society wonder, wait a minute, you keep trying this over and over and over again, but you never ever once said that something you did was wrong? You couldn't see that you going down a one-way street, 500 cars are coming your way, and you're the only one going east. 500 cars are coming west, and you get pulled over and you tell the cop, them 500 cars was wrong. That sign says I can go left, and I turned left, and I went, and all those cars were coming my way. No, they wrong. And that's how some people are in relationship. No, all 5 of my husbands was wrong. Some sick folks don't know they sick. Demetra Pitts, that's it. Some people don't even know they're sick. And this is why in the church world, and especially Pentecostalism, psychology it is shunned upon. It's a stigma there. You can't talk about it. It's taboo to talk about psychology. They say, here, bring me the blessed oil. All right. Boom. They're on the floor. And they stay down there, and then somebody bring the sheet. Bringing in the sheets. Bringing in the sheets. All right. And she lay down there and roll over and split and slob. Okay. And then she get up and say, all right, you've been delivered. And then they go home. To what? Mess that she might have caused. So her remedy is get slapped on the head at church with some oil, because tomorrow or tonight when she get home, she gonna get slapped in the head again by her husband. Okay, that's the remedy in the black church especially. So what you need to do, sometimes you need to sit down and talk with somebody and show them. Matter of fact, in my book, I talked about the woman at the well, girl A. Turn to page 97, shall we? Her husband has full confidence in her and lacks nothing of value. She brings him good, not harm, all the day. Are you in my book? This is not what you'll find watching Basketball Wives. Women have to get back to scripture and turn off the boss chick and the Queen Bee network. Oh, you gonna get in trouble for that. Amber Rogers, run! All right, here's what my book says, page 97. If you don't have a book, you should. It said, I got a chapter here called Woman at the Well. This woman met Jesus at the well and was very hospitable. She served him as requested. When Jesus asked her where her husband was, she responded that she didn't have one. And Jesus told her that she was right because she'd had several, and none of them belonged to her. I was working in a factory one year, and while on my lunch break, my coworker talked about how easy church girls were. He said he was dating a girl who was very spiritual, but always vulnerable around him. One day he stopped by the church during a revival. He saw his girl in the church jumping and shouting and speaking in tongues. He walked over to the door, she saw him. She turned off the spirit. She saw him, quickly grabbed her purse, got in her car, and he drove her to the nearest hotel. Moral of the story. I was talking about girl A. Girl A's may know Jesus, but they struggle to overcome these temptations that come from men. They know Jesus, but there's a battle between Jesus or him. Now, we all sometimes struggle in our flesh. I'm the chiefest of them. But you should never battle in your flesh and wonder, should I choose Jesus over my desire for this woman or my desire for this man? All y'all should be together trying to figure out how we going to fix all this. All y'all should be together. But what we've done was we separated them. Jesus, he live over there. He live over there. Okay? All right? So it is important to be inclusive. Who? Include Christ in that and say, you know what, man? You know what, Christ? That feels good. Christ. Hey, Christ. You watching, right? Listen. The blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You're going to have to help me with this. You're going to have to help me with this. Number 4, you don't believe your God-given identity. I think I'm reading that. All right. Number 5, he is manipulative. Hey, Ebony Ward, so good to see you. He is manipulative. That's why you settle. Emotional abuse is one of the 5 signs of toxic relationship that is harder to detect. It's like implicit bias. You black and you the wrong color, and your co-workers and your boss and some of them worship with you. I'm talking about whites. They worship with you, but they don't even realize that they have implicit bias because of the area where they live, maybe where they worship, maybe where they work, the whole white privilege thing, and they don't realize that they got bit by this stereotypical thing that happens to them, and so they have implicit bias, which is very difficult to shake, right? That's the primary issue in the church. We can tell them what to do, but haven't taught them how to do it. Pitts, ooh, Pitts is preaching today. It often shows itself through negative statements. He's manipulative, so it shows through negative statements towards you, which cause emotional harm. Men are harsh in their words towards women. And some of you have Stockholm syndrome-ish, where you love him so much, so you look over what he says. In the book, I often talk about All in the Family. I talk about Edith Bunker. I did a whole show on the Edith Bunker effect. I call it the men who love Edith Bunker. The men who love Edith Bunker. It should be on my YouTube channel. During my old days of radio, all right? And it's amazing how we say old days, like it was in the 20s, although my old days of radio started in 2009, the old days, okay? And here they're talking about emotional abuse. Archie Bunker called her meathead. You understand what I'm saying? I'm sorry. He told her to stifle. That's it. He called her dingbat. He called his son meathead, but he told her to stifle yourself. And you are, yeah, good to see you, Antoine. All right. You are a dingbat. All right. How'd I go? One of the greatest theme songs of all time. It took me 50 years to learn it. All right. But he used these abusive words, and it went in here, and after a while it went in here and went out there. Okay? The reason why I include that in this list is because women who have high self-esteem can immediately tell when someone is being manipulative or emotionally abusive. If you are in a relationship where you're used to, they saying, stupid jokes from your partner at your expense, then you settle for someone that doesn't value you. You're a dingbat. But more importantly, you do not possess enough self-esteem to leave. Marty says, and you learned it well. Thank you. All right. A man that values, respects, and loves you will not entertain any thoughts about you. Where am I? My computer keeps acting a fool. If you're in a relationship, a man that values, respects, and loves you will not entertain any thoughts about you that aren't encouraging, loving, uplifting towards you. Contrarily, he will feel offended if someone else ever dares to, though. You see? He calling you all these words, and then someone, a knight in shining armor, come around and says, Marty, you sure is fine. You sure is beautiful. I love how you do that. I love how you do this. And then your husband is like, okay? Emotional abuse can manifest itself in many ways. Now, sarcasm, lying, guilt tripping, and shaming. It's important you learn to identify those patterns in order to avoid settling in a relationship. I want to bring up Archie Bunker again. Archie Bunker is an exception to the rule. Y'all like, uh-oh, here we go. Flora, it's good to see you here. We see them ASAP, and we take off the other direction from manipulative men. Belinda, there it is. Archie Bunker is an unusual character. Edith Bunker is well. This is why I love to use them as an example. I did several shows on the Men Who Love series. The first one was Archie Bunker and Edith. The next show I call it The Men Who Love Claire Huxtable. The Men Who Love Weezy Jefferson. The Men Who Love Florida Evans. All right, I use all of these black sitcom shows that we all knew and loved. All right, and the reason why I call it The Men Who Love is because I was trying to educate the audience on why is it that these men were attracted to these women, these type of women, and why is it that it was so easy for these women to take the type of abuse, in a sense, from these men. But at the end of every show, notice they were always loving on each other. Okay, these were men. I thought it was brilliantly written. These men were men of my father's age and my grandfather's age, who did not know how to love a woman the way she thought she needed to be loved, or what she might have seen on the TV during the days of Leave the Beaver and Fathers Knows Best, and these shows of the 1950s and 60s where the woman she wore pearls at home. She wore her Sunday's clothes, seemed like, and she's in the kitchen cooking, and he comes home with a suit and a briefcase, and hon, I'm home, and the dog runs to him, and he asks for his slippers and his pipe. All right, that was the American dream home, all right? And he comes home and sits in his recliner chair, and turns on the TV while she's in there and says, all right, supper's almost ready. We saw that even on the Brady Bunch, all right? We saw this white middle-class look of what the family is supposed to look like, and then there was the black family. Okay, Mr. Ed and Bewitched. Well, I don't know if you saw that husband and wife on Mr. Ed, but Bewitched, yes, you did see both Darrens. Okay, you did see that. Marcus Welby. Okay, hey Elder Vernon, how old are you? How old? You forgot the MD. It's Marcus Welby, MD. All right, so we saw this. But the Edith Bunker, the Archie, and all these men, the wives of these men that I've mentioned, Archie Bunker loved Edith. Archie Bunker loved her. If an Archie Bunker was to talk to you, if you had an Archie Bunker today, ladies, in your life, you wouldn't be able to handle him. You in another, you've been raised up in another climate after a while, where you wouldn't be able to handle the type of Archie Bunker. But Edith was special because during that time, you could just talk to a woman any kind of way. And men came home, they provided for her, all right? They gave her children, what have you, but there was something always missing. Notice she was always complaining that he doesn't do this, he doesn't do that. And I call it the Mr. Roper effect. Three's Company, all right? Come and knock on our door. Three's Company too. Oh, I never played it before. All right, one of these I'm gonna learn that. Mrs. Roper upstairs, she was always horny. She was always horny. Mr. Roper was tired of her. I don't want to go too far because I want to read what y'all saying. The problem is that's a typical learned behavior. Yep, based on the environment influences. Yep, memories of childhood taught being spoken to in the manner of Pitts. I asked them for. Okay, I gave them my CashApp. Don't send her no money, y'all. Don't send Pitts no money, cause she preaching, and I don't want her. I don't want to take my money. All right, Mr. Roper has issues, Belinda. Yeah, he didn't want her sexually. She could do anything else. She can cook and clean and what have you. No, and she was always on fire. Okay, so. And happy birthday to you as well. Happy birthday to who? Are you talking about Belinda? Oh, that's tomorrow. Okay, so dingbat, stifle yourself, get my beer, all these things, and she, all right, Archie, oh Archie. Okay, and she come out and sit down next to him. She wanted him to sing with her at the piano. She wanted him to dance. She wanted him to take her out to eat. She wanted sex like Mrs. Roper as well. So all these seasons we saw how I don't want it, and she usually found a way to get him to do what she needed him to do. How does she do it? She used love and kindness. She was a God-fearing woman. She went to church. He didn't. He hated it. He hated it. Okay? But we knew how much he loved her because when she got sick, for the first time, we saw Archie cry like a baby. She had phlebitis, I think it was. She was doing something for this. This is the time when he had bought Kelsey's Diner. All right, those of you who are young, you may not understand any of this, okay? And she was making sandwiches for everybody, and she was just up too much, walking around, and then phlebitis set in, and she started limping and she started hurting, and then the doctor told her she got to get off her feet. She didn't tell Archie this because she wanted his party to be successful at the cost of her physical wellness, at the expense. She was getting sicker and sicker just so she could make enough sandwiches so that he could be happy. And when he found out what she did, they're laying in the bed and I am nothing without you. I am nothing without you. You should have told me. Forget those sandwiches. Forget the bar. I will have nothing without you. And he started to cry. And man, I lost it. I lost it. And I was a little boy then. I lost it. And that's when America realized Archie loved her. He did not know how to give her what she deserved. You understand? And I remember my mom asking my father, I don't know if I should say this because sometimes they watch my show. She asked him, why don't you love me? Why aren't you romantic like I see on As the World Turns? Days of Our Lives. You know. Da-da! Okay, I can't do that. I'm supposed to do a daytime soap musical. And I've been planning that. So get ready, y'all. I'm planning that. I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play all the popular. Okay. And my dad's reply was, I'm going to get in trouble. Don't nobody share this with my mom and dad, please. Although I've said this on the show before. My dad's reply was, I gave you all those babies, didn't I? And she laughed. Now, this is my mom. She told me this story. And she laughed. Okay, now, she laughed like Sarah. All right. I gave you all these babies. Now, when I was young, I was like, that doesn't make any sense. That's inconsiderate. Why can't you? Oh, John. Oh, Mary. Oh, John. Oh, Mary. Kiss me, you fool. And the music plays, okay? That's not what my dad saw as romance. My mom saw that as romance. My dad saw that as mushy, mushy, mushy. This is why men don't come to church as much as women do. That's why the churches are filled with women, and the men are like, I don't want to go there because y'all have turned this into a soap opera. Men don't like all that mushy, 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 especially in public. He liked that stuff in private. You understand? So she wanted her house to be catered after the soap operas. My father's interpretation of romance was, I gave you 9 babies. As I got older, I understood where he was coming from. Not that I agreed with it, but I understood where he was. He could only go so far, and that's where he stopped. Why? Because that generation, the men didn't show their sons what my generation show our sons. They just didn't, especially if they come from certain territories of the country, especially from the South. You went out there in the backwoods, all right, and in the pasture and what have you, and you sowed and you reaped, you planted, okay. You worked out there with the animals on the farm, agriculture, and what you hustled, all right, and you brought home the bacon, and then and you had babies, and that was it. That's what you did. All right, there was no romance novels and all that stuff. The women stayed home and they were captivated by all of this stuff that you saw. Yep, BW 9, 9. He wanted more, but Mama said the store's closed. The store's closed. We have to begin to teach folks loved is a learned behavior. Yes. So he didn't know. He didn't know. Because his father didn't do that. His father didn't do that. He didn't know. Love is not we see, it's what we do. Understand? I told y'all the other day, my father, I never heard him say I love you when I was coming up. He didn't say I love you to us. Not to the sons, he didn't. I knew he did, though, but he never said it. He showed it, though, how he took care of us. He showed it, but he couldn't say it. Because he come up under an environment where you just didn't say that in the black house. You know, I'm talking about men. The women say it, but not the men. They were hardcore. And if you said it, it took away that manliness, toughness. Hey, That's why when they saw a boy dressing up in women's clothes, or when my father could, if my daddy was home, you did not put no mama's wig on and her high heel shoes on and her skirt on, because we all did that. We played in my mama's clothes. But you best believe we grew out of that crap too. We grew out. We're done. We played house. We're done with that. So, but we never did that around my father. Oh no, that generation didn't play that. Not the men. Some of the women thought it was cute. But the men of my father's generation, you didn't play that. And then you begin to hear these terms of faggot and sissy and all these stuff. Those terms come from that generation. They couldn't take it. They couldn't take it. And that's why it's difficult for them to see boys coming out. That generation, they can't take it. They don't know what to do. So our churches turned in, they coined it phobia, homophobia. They coined it homophobia because look at that generation. They can't take it, and the work is not always attractive. Yeah, y'all preaching here. All right. So my mom says, "Kiss me like George does on my father." Like, I gave you babies already. Why I got to be doing all that? Why I got to be? So that was Archie Bunker. You understand? Archie didn't know that he needed to love her in her language. He didn't know how. Then that became my favorite show because that show was psychological for me. I watch the show for psychological reasons, not so much for the entertainment and for the laughs. My grandfathers were loving. My father was not. However, I do not have daddy issues. Many women do because of the lack of love from their fathers. That's true. That is so true. And it's good that you understand that, Belinda. But can I say something very controversial to you? This is not to you. I don't know your situation, but I'm gonna say it to you because you can take stuff. You can take stuff. But I want to say something to you. Someone like you will say, I don't have father issues. And they do. They just don't know it. You understand what I'm saying? You understand what I'm saying? And again, that may not be you. Yeah, that may not be you. I know women who come up under a house where they graduated, and they are what are they? They're a lawyer. They are a lawyer right now, highly respected. The father wasn't around. Mama raised them only, and they're lawyers right now. And they try to make me believe that they are okay, and I told them, no, you're not. No, you're not. I can tell the way you talk to me that you got daddy issues. I'm a successful blah, 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 and always talking about their degrees and all that bragging and all that stuff. No, that's, you overcompensating. That's what you're doing. You got daddy issues. You missing that part in your life, and you don't even realize it. No, I don't. I've traveled around the world, and I've trained. That means crap. You got daddy issues. Look at your relationships with men. Look back. And the way you talk to me, I know right away you got daddy issues. So a lot of times you just don't know that you have it. Again, I ain't talking about you, Belinda, because I'm just now meeting you. So I don't know. Yes, I see them on women all the time. I forgave my dad. He was always traveling, preaching. I am the psychologist. Learn balance. We have to teach folk. That's it, Belinda. When women open their mouth. Yeah. They tough on the outside, inside, tore up. That's it, Vernon, Elder Vernon. I dated a woman for a couple years who was a counselor. She counseled people. She counseled people in marriage and all these other things. Psychologically, she was brilliant. She was highly educated with several degrees, but she would be on the job in her office talking about trying to enhance people's lives. But when she came home, all we did was fight. She couldn't understand why I would say what I said. I'm like, wait a minute. What I said should have got this response. Why did it get that response? I'm like, what? And I'm like, I can't understand this. Day after day, we arguing and fussing over something silly. And then I finally said to her, how is it that you are at the office every day counseling people who may have maybe some of the challenges and issues that I have, and when you come home to me, you don't even know what to say. You're always fussing and arguing and disagreeing and telling me that and telling me to shut up and all this stuff. How could you be so calm at work but not calm at home? And I realized it was the daddy issue in her life. So I don't care what your career is. It means nothing. Your actions show. Number 6, this is the last one. Other people govern your actions. Other people govern your actions. Be honest with yourself. Are you settling for an unsatisfactory relationship because you are afraid what they will think of you if you break up with him? I was going to break off my marriage because the opposite. I didn't want to marry, but because of what I thought the public was going to say about us, I decided that I was going to marry her. I never said that publicly. I decided to marry her because I was afraid that the public was going to tell her, see, he ain't no good because he going to leave you at the altar and all this other stuff. So I married her anyway because of the public. Y'all like, wow, dude. Me. Other people govern your actions. Number 6. They could be your parents, your friends, or your neighbors. basically whoever's approval you feel like you need to validate your decision. He says, I know that sometimes it can feel like the world is judging your decision and actions, but you need to let go of their desire to please others. They are not in your shoes and will never know what it feels like to be in it. You can be confident in who you are and in your decisions as long as they align with God's will for your life. I'm going to give this brother, if it's a brother, Justin M. Fulami is his name. I'd like to give him credit. I don't want to read this man's blog if this is a man. I think it's Justin, and not give him the proper credit. Let me look for his name. Justin, J-U-S-T-I-N-E, Justin M. Fulami, Fulama.com. JustinMFulami.com. All right, relationships/reasons women settle. All right, I want to give him the proper credit. That's an epidemic. Many are in a relationship because of public opinion. Pitt said that, y'all. Physician, heal thyself. Belinda says she never addressed it for herself. Yes, I married my son's father. Fear of what folks would say. See, that's Belinda. Amber says here, if your relationship is toxic, it's draining the life and energy from you. When women ignore their intuition in favor of good sex and complacency, then her low self-esteem is showing. Our life in him is a life of abundance, physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional. Our blessings should not bind us. All right? So you really got to get your ducks in a row. I did, in this book here, I talked about Delilah, which was girl B. And I use these girls to help y'all understand the type of women that you may be. Girl B is the mistress. Hey, how long I've been on here, y'all? Somebody put the time on there. I don't know why these afternoon shows keep going long. What's wrong with me, y'all? You do these long shows and I just can't shut up. You never shut up. You talk too much. Delilah was a Philistine woman who had caught the attention of Samson, and he was an Israelite warrior. She was forbidden fruit. 1 hour, 13 minutes. Okay, thank you. She was forbidden fruit, and he knew it. Here it is. Delilah was forbidden, and he knew it. Yet because of his love or lust for her, he got entangled with her and exposed his secret, which ultimately killed him. Okay, I dated a woman who was drop dead gorgeous from top to bottom and would have won any modeling and beauty contest. She was very educated, well-spoken, managed her money well. She had an infectious laugh, a dazzling smile, and could join any subject in the room. So what was her problem? Apparently, I wasn't perfect enough, and she treated me more like her son than she did her man. At home, she cooked and cleaned for me and offered her up her body, but in public, she would humiliate me. When the chips were down, like Delilah, she turned on me. And those who were trying to destroy my character turned to her for help. And before it all was over, I realized that I had been to a female barbershop. What's the moral of the story? Girl B's may appear sweet on the outside, but they can be bitter once you get involved with them. Bitter. Boy, I tell you, and it's tough. Brothers, you out there? Man, it's tough, Elder Vernon. It's tough. Especially on the dating thing. It's really tough. Because life is like a box of chocolates. Can y'all finish that statement? Life is like a box of chocolates. What else did he say in that movie? But I did bring up Ruth and Boaz, and I'll do that in another show, because what happened in their relationship is very important. Very important. Hate to say it, they're the worst ones. Yeah, some people are good at concealing issues, and it comes out after you. Yeah. That's it, Amber. You never know what you're going to get. You never know. Page 101, I talk about the investment effect. The investment effect. And it's too long for me to read, so I'll do a show on that. I think it's important that you ladies who are complacent in who you are, who you think you are, you're settling because for the 6 reasons I have up here, but also your relationship with God has been affected. If it was there, number one. Number two, He might have caused you to walk away from God in His own way. In the book, I talk about the girls, girl D, Lilith, tries to pull him away from that which is precious to him so that she can have him to herself. And she begins to try to get him to turn on his loved ones. Chapter 6, she's the fatal attraction girl D. And when you look at her profile, some of you might be guilty of this. She starts off, she's a professional woman, all right? And then it goes downhill from there. And she's very sexually dominating. She's extremely private. And her privateness is what is causing it, because she's extremely private. What she does is she pulls you into her lair, all right? Now, that could be good, because I'm a very private man myself. But that can also be very tricky. That can be destructive, because the black widow spider, she'll lay with him, but she'll devour him afterwards. The average woman has no relationship with God. Otherwise, they would not make those decisions around the men. I don't know if I would say the average woman. I don't know about that. But I will say, just because a woman is screaming and jumping in church, don't mean she has a relationship with God. I know women who are very silent. They're very, very silent, very private. She don't do a lot of talking, none of that stuff. But she's got an amazing prayer life. You don't even see her on social media that much. Every now and then she'll pop up. You don't see her that much. She don't post on her wall all kind of stuff and revealing things, la la la. No. But she is an amazing woman who prays for everybody. Got a clean life. And because of a clean life, God has been taking good care of her. Her home, her finances, all right? Things like that. I know them. So what we see on the outside, we think that this woman is so holy because she's always on the mic. She's always dancing and praising God and blah, blah, blah at church. At home, she's a wreck. And then, before you know it, she's divorced, right? The one who sits in the back, minding their own business, they'll praise God and they quiet during the sermon. They don't say, amen, and scream aloud. No, they quiet. But when you go home, their life is so together, so fulfilling. They have so much joy. You understand? And there's a difference between being happy and joyful. You understand? I was talking to someone yesterday about that. There's a difference between being happy and joyful. As you know, being happy means that something has to be happening. But to be joyful, that is one of the fruit of the Spirit. Love, peace, joy. Joy comes from God. Happiness comes from man. All right? It's the same thing it's the same analogy of being nice opposed to being kind. And you can be nice. Nice is temporal. It's temporary. Somebody treats you bad, you are nice to them. All right? You're having a nice moment. But kindness is something that is set in, and you are born with kindness. I'm talking about born again. When you're born again, kindness comes with it. It is a fruit of the Spirit. And that right there, it always reeks out of you, kindness. Niceness, temporary. Happy, temporary. But kindness, always. Joy, always. So people see me, and they see things that happen to me and other things around me, and they say, why are you always smiling? Why are you nothing affects you? Because I believe in the kindness supposed to always show. The joy is supposed to always show. I count it all joy. Count it all joy. All right, when these diverse things happen to us, count it all joy. Apparently, it must have supposed to have happened. It's supposed to happen. Why? If I'm in the Lord and these bad things are happening to me, then it had to happen, so I'm joyful. I counted not. Jesus said it was good. All right, it's good that these things are happening to me. This is good stuff. Paul said, "This is good." He in jail writing letters. This is good stuff. I fought it and I finished it, and I'm good. We're good. You understand? Love wins. Robin Ellis says, happiness comes from without, but joy comes from within. Amber Rogers, that's it. So when you ladies who seem to be all over the place, you just all over the place. I see your posts on social media. You all over the place. You just busy bodies all over the place. That is a big turnoff to men. Huge turnoff. And we like delete, unfollow, block, shut it off. It's too much for us. It's too much. And you notice all the women, they when women act like that on the wall, notice how all the women follow behind her. All the women, and the brothers looking at that like, oh wow, look at this hen party. This is horrible. If you're in any of the singles groups, you'll see it in the singles groups. The women that make a post and it's something crazy and wild, and all the women respond. The brothers sitting back like, eeny, meeny, miny. Now, which one of these I'm gonna have in my bed tonight? Because that one right there, she's showing us that she wanted. She's showing us that she's weak. She's showing it. So the men sit back. They sit back and they see all men are sitting back watching all this, and they're like, okay, I'm gonna talk to this one in the inbox. That one right there. That one. Why that one? Look at her comments. Look at her. That one right there. She got daddy issues. He in the inbox. Hey, how you doing? You all right? Good. I was just saying hi. Just checking you out. Oh, you were? Oh yeah. I know how it works. I know how it works. And then he got her. And when he devour her, he go back on into that singles site. All right, who's next? Any, many, money, more. How's he able to do all that? The sisterhood is broken. I know you've been tired, and it seems like it's been going on for years. Oh, don't you ever let go. Don't let go. Don't let go. Don't you ever let go. Don't you ever let go. All right, y'all, I gotta go. Let go. I gotta go. I already ate. So, it's 5 o'clock in the p.m. I got another half hour, and I'm going to head to Evanston, Illinois. And we are getting ready to prepare for Pastor's first anniversary. That sounds weird, don't it? Pastor's, well, it's not an anniversary. They call it an appreciation. You put lipstick on the pig, it's still a pig. What's in the name? We're still going to raise them some money. Tell them thank you. Tell them thank you. All right? You all right? I'm not part of a singles group, but I see it every day. Come on, Pitts. I love what Pitts be doing. A strong, what's the name of that? Your group, Strong something. All right? And it's something that we all should pay attention to. Pitts and I don't always get along. Actually, we always get along. We do. We all get along. We just don't always agree. But we always get along. That's my squeeze right there. But I tell you, socially, Pitts is extremely conscious. Extremely. And so I thank God for friends like that. Okay? Pringles. I still like Pringles. Yeah. If you invite me over to eat, have some Pringles. Last but not least, I want to talk about exposing people's dirt. Standing strong for peace. Demetra Pitts. Standing strong, the number 4, peace. Go to her group. It's great. You'll enjoy it. You'll get upset, but you'll enjoy it. Can I say this real quick? Can I buy some more time? Huh? Who's the timekeeper? Amber Rogers, you the timekeeper. Can I buy some more time? Oh, Vernon says it's 5 p.m. You don't have time. All right, let me go. But I have to say this. There's a video that's going around with a pastor giving cunnilingus to a woman. And unfortunately, it's hitting all of our inboxes. All right? And when I saw it, because you don't know what the video is going to do until you hit the play button, and I'm like, quickly turn it off. When I saw it, I just teared. Oh, it's okay, hour 25 minutes. I should go for it. I kind of teared up because, not so much because of the pastor and his indiscretions. Apparently that woman was not his wife. Not so much because of that, but because of where we are now. I remember the day when we used to try and protect each other, because African Americans, we already divided, and we're already oppressed. We've been oppressed since somebody went over there and offered us a free trip to America. I don't know if I'm going to live another day because I go get in the car and drive, and I don't know if a cop going to kill me. Or I don't know if I'm going to open my curtains in the living room, just open it up, and the cop going to shoot me, and I'm in my own house. Y'all, anybody live in Texas? I don't know if I'm going to die, right? So I'm already profiled. So when we start eating each other, though, I wonder, gossip is something else, though. If someone called you about me, I'd wish they'd call you about me or something that I did wrong, that y'all come together and pray for me. If a video or text message or something that might have went out there inappropriate, which I don't make it a habit of doing that, okay? But if something like that should ever happen, I would hope that y'all are coming together to pray for me and not waiting on Larry Reed or King Jives or Conscious TV or Sir William McCrae or somebody you send it to their inbox or something like that so they can do. I would rather you talk with your friends and say, let's see what we can do to help him. He's getting ready to get dragged in the mud. Remember the day when we used to cover each other, y'all? You remember that? Y'all remember? It was that far. It was way back there, wasn't it? Yeah. This is a spirit that has taken over, exposing folk and wanting people to be shamed. Love covers and protects. Yeah. That's why I always tell people, tell your story first. You got to tell your story, because if somebody tells your story first, they're going to tell it wrong. If you're honest, just tell them, I did this thing, and I'm so sorry. I'm coming forth now. Tell your story. Tell your struggles. Write about it in the book, because this is my story. You know, I told my story about my jail experience and my stealing and thieving and all that stuff. I tell my story. So if anybody should inbox you a picture of me being arrested, a mugshot, laugh at them. Says, really? So you sent me that to do what? He told his story. So you needed to show me a mugshot of him being arrested? For what? Did you pray for him before you thought to send that to me? So I would like to say, I get it. Salacious news always causes the mouth to dry, to drip with, you just, yeah. It also makes me wonder, what do you do all day? Okay, this is just you and I, okay? We're just having a fireside chat. Y'all need some music? What do you do all day but look for the mess in your inbox? In your inbox, what do you do? What do you do all day when you're always in your inbox? Inbox today. Have you read the word? Have you read the word today? Today. Have you read the word? Oh, I can go all day with that. Have you? No, you haven't. So what are you doing now? You know what you're doing? You are distributing pornography. And you don't even know it. There's a video that went out a couple years ago of a little girl sucking a grown man's penis. She might have been 8 years old or younger. I don't know. But what they did not realize was that they were breaking the law. Can y'all tell me in the inbox? I'm sorry, the inbox. Can y'all tell me in the comments, why was it that they were breaking the law by sending everybody up? They were trying to say, let's find this man who got this little girl sucking his penis. And they were sharing it all through thousands of people. But they were breaking the law. Can y'all tell me why they were breaking the law? And what is it called, Belinda? What is it called? And these are the saints sharing. Yeah. What is it called? Because when I saw it, I'm talking about this yesterday, when I saw it, I got sad. I didn't feel no ill will towards this man. I didn't say, oh, to capture him. Oh, he exposed him. I just got sad. Because I kept thinking about the mess that I was doing, hoping that nobody found out. And then I thought, man, can you imagine if Amber, distributing childhood pornography. They didn't realize they were breaking the law. And the girl who released the video of this pastor sucking her also was breaking the law, because it is now against the law to do revenge pornography. So some of y'all are breaking laws and don't even realize it. So here's the thing. The government is trying to be more moral than you. The government is trying to protect the babies and protect the person in this porn thing, because they're telling you that's revenge porn. You can't do that. That's you get jail time for that. And also let's protect this child. But whoever's child that was, can you imagine your child doing this to a man and then everybody sharing that video all over the place of your child? So the government is doing the job of the church. Oh, man. And it is our responsibility to report it. Yeah. So I got sad. I got sad. I felt sad for the pastor. I did. I got sad for the woman who was allowing this and recording it and for her releasing it. But I got more sad for all of us who sent it out to our entire contact list. That could have been my father who made a bad decision. And now my father's face is everywhere. Somebody else said, you shouldn't have done it. Yeah, that's right. And if it was your father, your response would be different. Yeah. I wish we could change. But that's just wishful thinking. I gotta go. I love y'all. Hey, I'll see y'all later. All right? Peace in the valley. Hit the share button, will you please? Hey, YouTube. Y'all know I love you.